Hey friends, welcome to the Healthy Oily Home podcast. This is a podcast designated just for essential oils. And so as you all know, I have another podcast, the Sustainable Weight Loss Podcast. That is where I'm going to be kind of going into stuff around coaching. But here is where I wanted to go and talk a little bit more about essential oils specifically. And so during this June and July-ish time, I'm going to be on maternity leave going to be on maternity leave. And so I wanted to kind of kick off this podcast with some of the ones I did on the other one. So on my other podcast, and when it was called the Healthy Body Podcast, I did both kind of some essential oil episodes as well as some coaching, mainly coaching. But I think there were some basic ones of the oils ones that I really wanted to make sure to go through at the very beginning of this. So I'm actually going to just kind of read you those ones again here. And really, those ones really talked about specific essential oils, like going through what we call the 7 pillars. I call it 7 pillars of essential oils education, and going through that for each individual oil. And so I'm going to talk today about the 7 pillars of essential oils education. And then over the next 10 weeks, I'm going to talk about the top 10 oils that I think everyone should have in their home, that I use all the time, and that we're going to talk about education, the 7 pillars around each oil. But I will say this before we dive on in. There are 2 resources, and I'll mention these at the end, 2 resources that you need to make sure you grab to get the most of this kind of basic introduction series. Is my Essential Oils 101 webinar and series. What that is a free resource that goes through what are essential oils, why are they effective, why do I choose to use doTERRA, what is the company about, and how they can actually be a natural solution for your health, home, and family. And then, so that webinar will cover that. It will also cover these oils in a little bit of a summary that we're going to talk about and how you can actually use those oils, and kind of will guide you through emails and through the webinar and how to actually get started with the Healthy Starter Kit, which is what the one I recommend that everyone gets started with. It comes with a diffuser and it comes with these 10 oils. So they're so great. So that's the first free resource. The second free resource is my Facebook group, Essential Oils for a Healthy Home and Family. That is where each week I'll post these podcasts where you can ask questions around them. If I'm not jumping in as much, I have a lot of people in there who are. And because I love my Facebook groups, it's still going to be a place where I do jump in when I can and on maternity leave. That's where I have both my customers who have decided to buy oils, those who are just interested, and those who are also sharing and building essential oils. So join the Facebook group and get access to the webinar. The notes to all that is in the links. Okay? So let's then talk about, if you want to know a little bit about my essential oil story, listen to the trailer episode. I kind of went into 30 minutes on that, on all of that, and I also go through it on the 101 webinar. But I want to talk about the 7 pillars of essential oils education. I'll remind you about those 2 free resources again. Then I'll remind you about, actually share with you the benefits of getting the Healthy Starter Kit or getting a wholesale account on my team, and the different things you have access to when you do that. Okay, first things first. I took a course about 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm taking one from doTERRA now specifically, but a general one that just talked about learning like the science behind the oils. And I loved it so much. And I love the education piece around it so much that I wanted to make sure that when I unpacked an individual oil that I covered these 7 areas: the basics of the oil, the science, the sourcing, the safety, uses, emotional connection, and testimonials. Okay, so what do I mean when I'm talking about essential oil basics? So this is going to have a blog post all attached with this so you can read it. I'm just going to summarize it right now. But I think the basics of essential oils in general, and then I'll talk about when I go through each of the individual oils, the basics of those oils. But basics of essential oils in general is that there are about 17,000 to 500 aromatic plants that can be converted into essential oils. And roughly, I think 200, 300, or 400 have actually been that has happened. Aromatherapists and scientists have been careful to offer, consumer oils that have been researched and tested and evidenced. And doTERRA has like over 100 single oils and essential oils that they offer. And again, essential oils at the core of it, they come from the roots, the barks, the stems, the leaves of a plant. And the essential oil, the reason why it's called essential, is essential to the life, protection, reproductive health, and defense of the plant. And so they have what we call, I think this is probably going into the science, but what we call chemical constituents. And if you've taken organic chemistry before, or anything like that, you understand that there are certain chemical families, alcohols, ketones, esters, seroterpenes, monoterpenes, and so forth, right? And those have, you know, chemical constituents that have what we call therapeutic benefits that make the oil smell and be useful the way they are. So for example, we're going to go through these, but just for example, lemon has what we call limonene. I think it belongs to the monoterpene family. Monoterpenes are very volatile. They hit you very effectively. They're not necessarily long lasting, but they're very effective in a short amount of time. And limonene is that constituent is very detoxifying, cleansing, and that's what makes lemon the primary one we use for cleaning, cleansing, and detoxing. Okay, so that's just an understanding there. And then sourcing. I love that doTERRA sources their oils all around the world in countries, one, that it grows best, two, in order to impact those countries with fair wages, give people jobs, and also get the best quality oil possible. And it just ensures that when you are getting a good oil, and with the testing, because they'll actually turn away oil that do not have a certain chemical constituents, that do not meet the certified pure therapeutic grade, and do not match with what they think that the oil should be. But these particular places that they're sourcing from, they trust, and it has been known to come back with those things that they need. Safety. So every single oil could be used differently, and we want to know how that particular oil, when we're going through, should be used. Which one is safe to put on my skin? Which one is safe to ingest? Which one is safe for certain demographics like children, pregnant women, elderly, those with existing medication? How much should I use a day? And we'll just talk briefly around those as well when we go through each oil. But then uses, how do I practically use them? How do I use it aromatically, internally, topically? How much do I use? And so forth, right? So that's actually what most people tend to want, but I do think knowing the other stuff helps you even use the oils a bit better. Emotions, so each single oil has anything we smell triggers our limbic system, which is in charge of our behavior and our emotions, and our olfactory systems involved. And what we smell can really impact our emotions. So each individual oil, not just doTERRA's emotional aromatherapy, but each individual oil impacts those areas of our body and can impact our emotions. So we'll talk about that. And then I'll just mention at the very end, the seventh is some testimonials around that oil that either I have been through or I've heard from my clients or customers, or just what I've learned in general. Okay, so those are the 7 pillars. So when I go through one particular oil, I might go through a theme of what oils help you detox, and I'm not going to go through all of it. But when I say I'm going to go through lemon, these are the 7 areas we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about basics, science, sourcing, safety, uses, emotions, and testimonials. Because I think the best way that you can empower yourself to know what is in this essential oil, crave and craze, and how do I use them, is if you're educated. Okay, so again, check out my Essential Oils 101 webinar and series. It's free. Go to the show notes and you'll get access to that. Also join the Facebook group, Essential Oils for Healthy Home and Family. And then lastly, if you're ready to kind of get started, you can have your kit as we go through all of these. The Healthy Starter Kit is what I recommend the most, and I will link a link here for you to get started and how you can go about ordering and all that sort of stuff. But that is my favorite kit to recommend. It is $160 US at wholesale. You'll get a cute Brevi diffuser, one of the cutest diffusers ever. That is diffuses 2, 5, 10 hours. It's amazing. 10 different oils that we're going to talk about and get started with. Plus, you get access to a wholesale account, and a wholesale account allows you, one, things 25% cheaper for whenever you want to purchase from that point out. It allows you the option of going on the loyalty rewards program where you get free products and free points, and only LRP, what we call LRP, it's called LRP, only LRP promotions. You also get access to my essential oils class and resource library with every single class I've ever taught on, a link to either a recording or the notes on it. You also get access to essential oil consultations with me and my team. So there's just many benefits of getting a wholesale account. But there's many benefits of getting your wholesale account when you buy the Healthy Starter Kit, okay? So I'm gonna link that in there as well so that you can not just learn, because you can learn all you want, but the best way for you to learn is to put it into action. And so why not, when we go through each oil each week, have it available, and you can actually practice using that oil that week. I think that's the best way. So even if you are a current customer, I mean, and you have these oils, this is perfect. Let's go back to the basics this summer, right? But also, even if you don't have some of these, this might be the time to get them, because you're going to start to use and learn a little bit more about them. And I will say a bonus, something I will have available probably in the group at some point. I will be going through this series, but is one on the summer, just like a summer class to help you if you're like, okay, I want to go through these basics, but I want to know what to use in the summer. I'll probably post the summer replay so make sure you join the Facebook group for that. But it's nothing if you don't have the oils to help you. So I think the best action step for you is, check out the free webinar, check out my free group, but also get the Healthy Starter Kit, because that's what's going to really help you learn and implement at the same time. Thanks for joining me in the Healthy Home and Family Healthy Oily Home podcast. Please rate and review this if this episode was great and helpful to you. That way more people can see it. You can feel free to share it. I just want more women to be educated in using these as non-toxic solutions for their health, home, and family. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode. We're going to start with lemon essential oil and go through these 7 pillars. Okay.